Men's 400 meters. The world record holder, Butch Reynolds, is injured, will not be here for this race. He set the world record in Zurich in 1988. It's a time of 43:29, and the American record is held by Antonio McKay. Is held by Butch Reynolds, and the Goodwill record held by Antonio McKay of the United States, 44:98. So Butch Reynolds holds both world and American records. The competition tonight, though, is going to be between two men, we think, Danny Everett, Roberto Hernández. Danny Everett from Los Angeles, California, 23 years old. That's Hernandez.
There's Hernandez, and he's really the pretender to the throne, which is American dominance in this event. Americans like to say that they own this event. Swept the 1988 Olympics, 8 of the top 10 fastest times last year in the world, 8 of the top 10 fastest runners in the world last year. And Hernandez, of course, following in the footsteps also of Alberto Wantarena. Much like Aniki wrote, Wantarena won the 400 meters at the Olympics in 1976. Danny Everett is the fastest in the world this year, the best American, of course.
And he ran very well in the Olympics. He faded a bit at the end, but let's take a look at the Olympic footage of Danny Everett.
Well, he's a 21-year-old college student at UCLA at that time. He ran a very good race, but he said he started to sprint too early, and it was his teammate, his younger teammate from UCLA, Steve Lewis, who not only snuck by him, but then Butch Reynolds got by on the inside. But not bad to win the bronze as a college student, and he's really getting better and better each year since.
So Danny Everett and Roberto Hernández. Hernandez has had a very hot season in Europe, as you pointed out, and he's 1-1 versus Danny Everett this year. They are going to be in lanes 4 and 5 and are definitely the ones to watch in this race. There are a couple of other runners, though, we want to keep our eyes on, Craig.
Well, Tim Simon in lane 3, a medical student at Howard University, is really just getting into form. He spent so much time studying during the school year. He's now had the summer to get in shape. He could be dangerous. Andrew Valmon, who's outside of Hernandez and Everett in lane 6, also could be a factor.
Of course, this is one lap around the 400-meter track here. You see the staggered start.
I think this is one of track and field's toughest events. You got to be a little bit crazy to run the 400 meters. It's like being a center in football or a catcher in baseball, a goalkeeper in soccer. It's a tough event. It always hurts.
The men's 400 meters, and speaking of tough, Wilt Chamberlain is here. He's an aircraft carrier. That's a great name. He's got an aircraft carrier's cap on. He was certainly an aircraft carrier in his basketball days. Is still in great condition. I expect to see him on a volleyball court every now and then, too.
Big track fan, used to sponsor a women's track team in the Los Angeles area. Of course, was a track and field competitor, high jumper and hurdler. Always said he could have been the world record holder in the decathlete, and you never doubt anything that Wilt says.
Craig, Olympic champion Steve Lewis is not in this event because of a strep throat. He didn't recover from it. Butch Reynolds pulled out with a leg injury. How do Everett and Hernandez compare to those two who are not here?
Well, I think really what's happened is that Hernandez and Everett have risen up to the level of the Olympic champion Lewis and to Butch Reynolds. Hernandez, who has run 4 times under 45 seconds already this year, is ready to run 43.5, according to John Smith, who is the coach of Danny Everett. So he's ready to do that at any time. Danny Everett ran 44.06 at the end of May. Since then, he had a little problem with a cramp, a little problem with an asthma attack. But according to John Smith, his coach, he's now ready to run under 44 seconds.
Let's bring up the weather conditions once again. It's cool here. There's occasionally a stiff breeze blowing down there. The effect on this.
Yeah, it's not a night for a fast time. It's a night for a very compelling race. And what I look for is for Danny Everett to go out. He's inside of Roberto Hernandez, to go out and get a little bit ahead of Hernandez. And that will make Hernandez think a lot and work a lot harder as they go around the far turn.
So we're just about ready for the start of the men's 400 meters here at Husky Stadium.
If you think of it during the race, Roberto Hernandez needs a nickname. Wantarena was El Caballo. Anna is called the Cuban Comet. All Cuban runners seem to have nicknames. He still doesn't have one.
We'll work on that. We'll have about 43.5 seconds to come up with one. Ready for the 400 meters. Husky Stadium. Slight breeze as you saw the flag blowing in the breeze here. Clean start. In lane 4 is Everett. Lane 5, Roberto Hernandez. We'll pick them up as they come out of the first turn.
Hernandez is out very, very quickly right in the middle of the screen. But now Danny Everett is closing the stagger. That's the strategy that he talked about before the race.
Danny Everett is number 231. Hernandez is number 30 as you pick them up on the far side.
Everett there in the middle in the blue. He's closing in on Hernandez as they go around this turn, but he's not ahead of him as he wanted to be.
Hernandez in lane 5. It's Hernandez getting the lead in lane 5. Roberto Hernandez of Cuba. It's going to be close behind him. Everett trying to come on at the end. but Hernandez will hold on for the win, beating Danny Everett. And Hernandez now has won 2 face-to-face matches, and Everett won. Valmon was 3rd, Simon was 4th.
You have to think that the cramp that Danny Everett had towards the end of June may still be haunting him as he missed some training. Also, asthma attacks are often brought out by cool weather, and that could have been a factor. Normally, you'd see Danny Everett close on every runner in the world in the home stretch. He couldn't make a dent in the lead of Roberto Hernández.
23-year-old Roberto Hernández, 5'7.5" from Cuba, with the win in the men's 400 meters here at Husky Stadium.
Here you see the lead, and Everett likes to run tall in the home stretch. He likes to have a quick leg turnover, but here it's Hernandez who has the quicker leg turnover. He's the shorter man. He peeks, he takes a look there. Where is Danny Everett, he wonders. Danny Everett was 2 or 3 strides behind.
And about 5 strides behind was Andrew Valmon of Bloomfield, New Jersey, who finished 3rd in the men's 400 meters. So the winner is Roberto Hernández. The Goodyear Blimp Columbia from Los Angeles, California, captained by Tom Mattis, getting the views, the beautiful views above Husky Stadium here on the campus of the University of Washington. We just had an exciting race in the men's 400 meters, won by Roberto Hernández, the 23-year-old for Cuba. And from Cuba, Danny Everett of Los Angeles finished 2nd, and Andrew Valmon of Bloomfield, New Jersey was 3rd. The time, 44.8. So Roberto Hernández is the winner of the men's 400 meters. From Husky Stadium, along with Craig Mosbach, this is Bob Neal. Let's go back to Larry King.